Now, today's topic, you might think it's a bit much for a Monday, but I'm going to encourage you to just go with me. I can't even speak properly. I must be excited. I'm going to let Tom speak. Money Matters Monday with Tom Hartmann from Sorted. Good morning, Tom.
Hi, everyone. Great to be with you. Hope you had a great weekend.
What I was trying to say is guard your loins. You know, you got to pull yourself up for this one is what I was trying to say, because we are talking about tackling your debt. Where do we start, Tom?
Well, this could be a really good one, actually, to start the week, because maybe we came through the weekend and we weren't going to think about our money stuff then. Now's a good time. Believe it or not, we're not going to start with repaying our debt. We're going to start with a starter emergency fund, because that's the first step. If you're carrying debt, first thing to do is sock away that $1,000 to cover emergencies. Because if not, what ends up happening is you start paying down your debt, but then an emergency happens, you're not ready for it, and then you rack debt back up again. You don't really make any headway. So we've already talked about this. We don't have to talk about it too much, but it's really sock away $1,000 and then get started on your debt.
That's sensible.
And the second thing to know that is you need to pick one, actually, to funnel any extra money you have towards it. Not try to pay them all off at once if you're carrying a number, say if you have a credit card, a personal loan, or a car loan. You really want to pick one. And there's a couple different strategies to which one you pick, but you want to keep the minimum payment going on all of them, and then pick one and funnel any extra money you have towards it. So the choices are, typically, we'd advise to do something called the debt avalanche, which is meaning you pick the debt that's costing you the most, that's hurting you the most. So the highest interest rate, or the one, and so you take any extra money you have, funnel it towards that, and then like an avalanche, you after that one's done, you funnel that extra money you have towards the next most expensive one. But people being people, many times it helps to get some momentum. And so another way to do it is called the snowball. And this works for a lot of people, is you take any extra money you have and take down the smallest debt you have. So and that gives you sort of motivation, gives you that momentum, and it gives you that reinforcement. You're like, oh, yeah, I can do this. So first one goes away, second one goes away. So you're not picking it by how expensive they are necessarily, but you're gaining momentum by taking down the smallest ones first and then moving up to those larger ones.
Right. So it's just really working out what works best for you, what is sort of less overwhelming, I guess.
Yeah. Debt can be really overwhelming. It's incredibly sticky. It's hard to get rid of, so easily to get into, and it's incredibly expensive. The interest rates that we pay on our debts here in New Zealand are unfortunately a lot higher than in other places in the world, because we're a smaller market. But some of them are going up to, for example, a store card can go as high as just under 30%.
Ouch.
It's huge. Now, by law, some of those payday lenders, they can go actually just under 50%, which is an incredible amount of money that you'd end up paying. Happily, those hopefully are more short term. Yeah. But incredibly expensive stuff. If you're carrying debt that's that expensive, it's really an emergency. Like, you need to figure out a way to get out of it as quickly as possible, because it is so sticky.
Yeah, sticky's a good word. Something that you guys talk about as well is getting debt on your side. What does that mean?
Yeah, so the key question for people really is, what is your debt doing for you? What does it really do for you? And for some people, it can be really helpful. For example, it can help them get into a house. For example, it can help start a business. It can help get an education that leads to more earning power. So there's a lot of good things that debt can do. But many of the times we are actually consumer debt. We're borrowing for things that lose value. that go down in value over time. And of course, the big culprit there are the way we borrow for cars. These are, a car, if you buy one that's new, as soon as you drive it off the lot,
Yes.
and you're pulling out of the drive and you're waving goodbye to the salesperson, and it's a great feeling. Your car has just dropped in value, because if you tried to sell it right then, you wouldn't, because you have a new car. But if you did, some of the more expensive ones lose up to 40% in value immediately. Now, how is that possible? How is that, if you wanted to sell it within the first year? And so borrowing for items that just lose value is really not a great strategy. And, that debt is not doing you any favors.
Yeah.
Basically is what I'll say.
Yeah. So, reading between the lines, don't go and buy the flashiest, most expensive car. It's not going to serve you in the long term. Just saying.
Well, for some people, that's going to be appropriate, but especially if they can pay cash for it and not have to borrow at all. I mean, that would be the best outcome, right? But it's still something that's going down in value.
Now, I'm, here this talk, for some people it's just overwhelming, and you guys have got a helpline, haven't you, to help people with this stuff?
Well, we've partnered with this great team called Money Talks, and Money Talks is a free helpline that you can even use anonymously. They're a great team of people, and so we refer to them from our service, sorted.org.nz, to the Money Talks helpline, which is 0800-345-123. It's quite easy to remember, 345-123. And you can text them. It's a really good way to use their service on 4029. And again, you can use them even anonymously if you don't want to give up a lot of information, just to have someone to talk to about your financial situation. And in particular, they can be really helpful at having someone in your corner when it comes to renegotiating some of the debts that you may be carrying.
Yeah, that is really great to know that service is there. I'll give you those numbers again, 0800 345 123, or the text number, which is 4029. Tom Hartmann, thanks for your time today. Look forward to catching up with you next week.
Great to be with you. Have a great week, everyone.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you can catch all our interviews on Star. See you next time.